I haven't been in court.
They stopped you?
What? I haven't been in court in 6 years. Anything to go to court, if I send the response back, I get a dismissal. Tell me, and then I get a letter saying I don't have to come back.
They keep adjourning it. That's how they did this last thing with this Piper Glenn incident. I told they buzzed up, and they going around just recently going around talking about I'm on probation and I'm a felon, this, that, and the other. I said, people silly. Why am I still saying?
They get mad at me because they get mad. They hate me because I deal with myself as a third party.
And
exactly. And that's how I operate as a third party in their system, and they hate that. And they be like, "How do you do that?" They just keep asking me that. How do you do that? And they don't never force me into stating. Well, I said I don't have to state what I am on the record in this venue because it's not real. I said I am who I say I am. Whatever I got on that paper, that's who I say I am.
That's right.
I said you have to accept it. I said you can't. I said unless you're gonna force me to take a name. I said and whatever you do, I said then you give it to me under TDC. I said then you force me to take it. I'm not taking it voluntarily. And I'm not agreeing to anything. I said everything I put on that piece of paper, I said that's what I said. I don't have to say anything else. I said I'm saying too much now. I stand mute.
Thank you.
And they look at me and they get mad and they, I'm going to hold you in contempt. And I just look at them. And then they'll say, well, they'll either say they'll rule against me, slam the gavel. And I just stand there and look. It was like, the case is over with. You going to leave? I said, yeah, when I get ready. You can leave. Okay. I said, let me get a security guard. And they get mad. And then when the security comes, and I turn around, I said, well, I'm ready to leave this venue. And I turn around and walk out. I tell them I'll never leave
on the record. That's right.
Yeah, I leave.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. That's what I'm trying to teach my nation. You get the last word on the record.
You got to take control of the court.
He who stands last wins the battle. We learned that early on, bro. If it ain't in person, on affidavit. Now I'm teaching my people. You send that affidavit, that bombshell by affidavit, put it on the record, send it certified to the judge and to the court. That's it. It ain't nothing else after that. You don't even go back. That's your last word on the record. So see, when you go back, if they put a warrant out, that's a double wrong for them. I'm gonna tear them up from the root to the tooth. My administration is. So if you give your status and you put your affidavit as law on the record and they still come after you, they in trouble. But go in there.
See, sister, that's the problem. But sister, the problem is we ain't had that. That's been our problem. We ain't had that. And I've been saying that for the longest. We ain't had nobody to go in and speak on the behalf, say, I am this, that of the nation. I speak on the behalf of the nation. Because I've had judges even ask, well, who is y'all representative?
But you can be represented on paper?
Yeah, you can represent yourself if you know how.
Not
if you know how to do it properly.
Yeah, special visitation and all that.
Yeah. Because when I do it, I put down and I state that I represent myself as a nobleman. That's it. And they say, well, you a nobleman or what? I say, to my nation.
Tell them the Isle of Man. The Isle of Man.
And they can't get that. Right, but whatever I state, they can't deny it. They always acknowledge it. You're a nobleman. I've even put it in my documents. That's my name. Sometimes I'll put it in there. And then they'll say, well, do you have any authority papers? I can type up anything and serve it to you. Prove it's wrong. It's filed and recorded. Go check it. If it's recorded, you can't say nothing.
Right. And that's what people don't understand. You know?
Yeah, I tell them, this been recorded. I done published it. Right. I tell them, I've published this. It's been recorded. It hasn't been disputed. I was like, it stands as record. And they say, well, yeah, we got to take it. We got a library page, and it's been published. That's law. As long as you use law in their system, they have to accept it. They can't deny it. They have to take it.
That's why they try to block us at the county. What's the recent situation that we just had in Wayne County?
Oh, denying of filing our paperwork, denying your status, saying we don't know who you are. If it's not dealing with property, we can't file anything. If it's not dealing with the address of physical, what they call it, physical equitable property, we can't deal with it. We can't record it.
That's the game they're trying to play now, because they see us coming around the nation. All our people now, they're trying to deny them. But what did our administration do?
The administration dropped something wicked on them, a complaint that scared them and shook them. I came in the next time with the paperwork, and they, no problem. They took it, went back. I guess they had a little meeting and came back and said, no problem, told me the charges, and said, have a nice day. I said, wow. I said, is that easy now? They said, yes. I said, so if I need some more, if I bring some more back, it'll get done like this. I said, because I don't want to be wasting my gas and time like y'all had me doing these previous times. Oh, no, sir, just come back and we'll go ahead and as long as you got it in the right form like you have it here, no problem. I said, wow.
Oh,
said,
man. They gave you the three nods.
Yep. And so, but they know. The sad part is they know. A lot of the people down there know. When they see the stuff, they know. Because I had a couple of people pull me to the side. How can I get involved in that? I really want to know more about our history. You know, I had a redhead lady ask me, you know, I've heard a lot about that. Is there any way I can become one? I was like, become what? She's gonna whisper to me, you know more. I said, okay, why would you? She was like, 'cause I want some rights. And I looked, I said, damn. She said, I've been reading and researching. She was like, when this stuff falls, we need some protection. And I said, She said, I know. She said, I know. She said, a lot of my people, they act like they don't know. But some of us know, some of us don't know, just like your people. I said,
was
wow.
She Caucasian?
I said, okay. Yeah, redhead. That's why I call her redhead.
all of them trying to get reclamated, bro. All these pale faces trying to be Moors. So I had a meeting the other day with one of my chancellors, and he was asking me about that. What kind of agreements can we use for the good ones that can go out and do our bidding for us? Because people been asking him. He got a good buddy in New Jersey, up in Long Island, that's hitting him up. He said he a good white boy. I've been knowing him all my life, but he said he came into the knowledge because his father is into real estate, and his father lost a big commission because he said indigenous person came forward with a claim, and they couldn't do nothing with the property. I was like, really? So now he wants to be a Moor. But it's Moor means dark. So hey.
Yeah, because I got it's an attorney that I know that's Greek. Now it's funny because he's one of them people, you know, he allow white people to call him white. But, you know, if one of us call him white, he get mad. I ain't white, I'm Greek. He said it's a difference. But I was like, I understand. And he said, but he asked me, he said, man, look, he said, I'm about to drop this bar card. He was like, how can I get my status together? Because he know what I've been doing, because I always be bouncing stuff off of him from time to time about law. And he was like, man, I need to, I want, he said, look, you know, I'm a Moor. I started laughing. I was like, I said, how are you? He said,
a little pinch of that blood. Now they want to play.
Yeah, he's like, you know I'm Greek. He said, you know I'm part Moor. Come on. How can I get my paperwork done? He said, when you get your stuff straight, let me know, because I want to get mine. He said, I'm going to drop this bar card. And he said, I'm gonna get in the music business and I'm going to be a Moor. Said, wow.
But you know they hire up telling them.
But he said he said we descend from y'all. He said we are descendants. I said, okay, you know. He said, yeah, I know him. He said, I'm a descendant from y'all. He said, you know, y'all came over, and he said, y'all darkened up our race some more. So said, we descend from y'all. I said, yeah, I know. He said, we all brothers. He said, we just right across the lake. That's all. So there's a lot of them. And I know a Hungarian guy. He be asking me about all the history, telling me about what the Moors left and the history that they left there. And he gave me, that's why I got a lot of my education of Moorish history really from a lot of Europeans. That's from Europe. Because I came in contact with.
They love us over there.
Yeah, and you know, but if you don't know history, they're not going to talk about it to you.
Right.
But if you know, they'll open up the floodgates. Because like I had one guy, he knew my name, my birth name, and he was a Greek, and he broke my birth name down. He said, but he was from a rural area that was like in the countryside, and he said that the guy, he said my name derives from a Malian prince that settled in his area. He said that area was his territory. And I was like, really? He said, yeah. He said, we got a statue erected of him in our town hall. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, he's a Moorish king. He said, he was a Moorish prince. He said, you carry his name. He said, you didn't know you had a Moorish first name? I was like, no. I said, I just thought it was Swahili. He said, no. He said, that's actually named after a Moorish king, a Moorish prince. He said, then he became a king eventually. But he said he caused more damage as a prince. He said because he was a great warrior. And I was like, wow. And I said, he said he got a Greek name and he has a native tongue name, because he said we call him something different here. But he said it's along the same line. He said your name is very popular over here. He said there's a lot of kids walking around with your name. So wow. He told me, he said the Moorish history, he said, is very rich in a lot of rural areas over there. He said they don't have it in the big cities. He said you got to go to the rural areas. And he said little poor areas where he said you can find out a lot of the history. A lot of our history. He said it's still there. He said they don't have it. Oh, doing that navigating.
Yeah, we need to start traveling and seeing and documenting stuff, bro, you know, and bringing it back and correcting our history here because they burned so much. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Because it was one European was telling me about. He said it's a lot of history over here about us that's over there. He said that they don't even tell the truth to. He said we know more truth about y'all than y'all know about yourselves.
That's what I'm saying.
He said, but when we come to this country, we are told not to tell you anything. They're told not to deal with us. We scum of the earth, bottom feeders. Don't deal with us. If you deal with us, we might rob from you, kill you, everything. He said, man, they talk so bad against y'all when we come over here. He said the ones, you see the ones on TV or stuff like that, they okay. But the other ones, stay away from them. He said they teach them that. And I had a lot of foreigners tell me that. I had a couple of people from different countries in Africa come over here that I had befriended and got real tight with and told me the same thing. And they tell us to stay away from y'all.
Separated.
Don't talk to you. Don't nothing. Stay away from y'all. Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all twisted. I was like, what? Yeah, man. He said y'all just got bad intentions, pretty much. He said some of y'all do, but a lot of y'all don't. But he told me, he said, man, you one of the few people that I really share a lot of my knowledge of, because he talked to me about a lot of the kingdoms and where he was from in Kenya, because I didn't know all the multiple kingdoms and kings and emperors they had throughout the years and all the things that they did. He gave me a lot of history, gave me some old books that he had. And I learned about their history, some Ugandan history, learned about the names that they called the land before that. I was like, wow. I said, okay. I said, man. I said, we really behind. I said, we really behind. We catching
but
up,
the
but we
people
catching
over there
up.
is brainwashed too. I just left Africa. And so many of them don't even know that Africa is not the real name.
Yeah, they got a lot of the new Asians there too.
Our people,
But that's
it's sad. That's why we gotta redo and resurrect our history and rewrite it and bring back what is true and take out what is false.
Yeah, because one thing I know. But one thing I know, a lot of us don't talk to these old folks. That's one thing I'm glad I talked to a lot of older people when I was younger, and I'm hearing a lot of the same stories from a lot of older people in the South that stating they never remember slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And I done heard that story multiple times from multiple people, and I heard that within my own family. I had an aunt that died 10 years ago when she was 95 at that time. She was born in the early 1900s. And I asked her about, I was like, I said, your mama or your grandmama should have been a slave. She was like, what? Boy, we don't know about no slavery. And I was like, well, she said, my grandmama wasn't no slave. My mama wasn't no slave. She said, boy, we didn't even know who white folks looked like until about 1932, 1933, when they came around talking about we had to get birth certificates and stuff. And I was like, and knowing what I knew, that rung a bell in me. I was like, whoa. I said, really? Now, it's some other stuff that happened. I may not go into detail on that about how they made us change our names and all that. But that happened personally within my family. Well, personally within my family, my Aunt Tuti exposed some information to me because she didn't know about me being a Moor, being in the Moorish culture, or knowing about the Moorish heritage. And she don't know nothing about it. And cause my aunt was a stone cold Christian. She was born and raised in the church. But we was having a conversation, like talking about back then, and she was telling me about, she remembered how they renamed the counties where she was staying in, because they was down from the southwestern part of Georgia, around Columbus area. And now the county that's where my people was from is called Florence County. But before that, she said when they changed it, it was called Liverpool County. I was like, Liverpool? She was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, they had a bunch of them English names. I found out later, named after a bunch of them English countries. I was like, really? I said, okay. And she said, yeah, because our last name, my last name, family name at that time was George. That was her last name. Her maiden name was George. And she was like, yeah, so they came to the house and told us, yeah, y'all got that stuff on the end of y'all name, that E-L. Y'all George, that E-L, George L, y'all can take that E-L off and just go by George. So she said when they did the census, they didn't put L on the last of their name. They just told them, put George.
Straight trickery.
You don't have to use the L. And that's how they tricked my family from removing the L from my last name.
Title nobility.
Yeah, so if a lot of people just don't know, if they really start doing their research and really start talking to some old people and really going through your family, because a lot of people don't connect with the old people and poor folks in their family, you might find out something. You really might find out something. And they may innocently tell you something. They don't know. Like my auntie, she didn't know what she was telling me. She was just telling me the truth. That was it. And she just didn't know. She was filling in the blanks. I found out who I claimed to be was who I always was, and I knew it.
Isn't that
I ain't got to tell nobody, well, I might be an L or a Bay or this. No, I know who I am. I was an L. That's a part of my family name. And it passed me off. So now it's time for me to bring it back and resurrect it to my family.
Exactly.
The right way.
Now, what part of the South was that?
In Georgia, right? It's like we was 35 miles outside of Columbus, because we own land that Fort Benning sits in. They actually took some of our land from my family for Fort Benning. They claim eminent domain.
I run into that a lot too down here. They still stealing land from families.
Yeah, they just left us a hill.
They put a quick claim on your property, and you don't even know. And come look up 7 years later, they be talking about they got ownership interest.
Oh, and I got another one, adverse possession. They've been doing that.
Let us do adverse possession down here.
Yeah, they got a lot of people property like that. You know, all you got to do is move on somebody's land, drop and sit on somebody's land for a while, and you say, "Hey, I got
7
adverse
years,
possession."
And they statute is 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can claim to be the owner.
Mm-hmm. That's what they was doing, and then to go pay the taxes and claim it all. They was doing some dirty stuff. I did some research and found out they did that in Texas. They did that in Mississippi a lot, because my grandfather had to take the county to court because they illegally gave some about 15 acres of his land away. They didn't know he had, because my family in Mississippi had like 425 acres of land, and they gave away 15, not thinking that it was his. They didn't know that all that land was his, and they thought the other land was split up. And they was like, "You mean you have all this land?" And he had to take him to court, and luckily he still had the land titles that was passed down from generation to generation. And that was the only way he proved it, because in their records they changed it.
Yeah. Remember how me, you, and George just figured out how they changed the map's coordinates?
Oh, yes. Turned it upside down. Well, we found that out. We found out a lot about that in Detroit. We've been doing some research on that. A lot of this stuff is real. It's you even have surveyors that saying this city is upside down. How did they do this city? This city is upside down. They've had surveyors in the state that. Because our north, east, west, and south don't match.
Because that's how they stole it.
And when you look at the original maps, you get the surveyor's map, the original plot maps from when the land was plotted out, and you get a current map, and you look at, if you know how to do latitude and longitude, degrees, chain links, you will see it's wrong. It is totally wrong. It is totally off. I don't know how they done plotted this land out, but it is totally against everything what they had set originally.
That's how you know they stole it, and then put in the Torrance mapping system. That ain't got nothing on the abstract.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games. This is spiritual warfare that we've been going through for years. And they see that and they see the spiritual link is breaking. They see that spiritual link is breaking. We coming back to that divinehood, to that divinity that we've been missing. We coming back, and they see it.
The Pope told them. The Pope told them a few years back when we were coming. And now his ass around kissing feet all over in Africa and laying on Persian rugs and pleading for his life and the life of his people.
Right.
Get out of here.
Their time is up. Pope got the real book, so he done read it. He knows his time is up.
All of them got the original Torah and teachings and instructions. And remember them Jews that are always moving by next to us and moving one step ahead of us in Detroit? Remember Ishmael? that was funny how Ishmael used to tell that story.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
But we have come a long way. We've come a long way. We have come a real long way.
Indeed. And I never thought we'll see anything.
It hasn't taken long. I thought it was going to take longer than it has. It hasn't taken long.
Right.
It's coming full circle. It's coming full circle real quick. And I ain't going to lie, I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm excited.
I'm sure ready to know that all of this was not in vain. All that. Bro, I've been fighting since I left there. Non-stop. All these years.
Oh, I know you have.
Deprived my family, my children, myself. People think it's easy. There's more. And then they think they can get everything, all this knowledge and information I'm holding in one teaching, in one session, and get mad if they can't get it. It's like,
this stuff is years.
This is a lifestyle.
This stuff is years of work and energy and hours and hours. I tell people, I said, I used to sit up 18 hours a day on a computer and with books in my hand studying this. That's how important it was. I said I would get 4 to 6 hours of sleep and I'm back at it. Sometimes I was pulling all-nighters. If I had something to do, I'd stay up 24 hours. Gathering and researching. Sometimes I couldn't go to sleep because it was burning me up because I was gathering and getting so much new information to help people and to help myself. I was like, I can't sleep. Dang, I said, man, they doing this, they doing that. Oh, they lied about this, they lied about that. I'm like, you can't sleep. Your conscience won't let you rest because you got a job to do.
Not if you on that straight and right path. Remember, some people used to take off talking about, I ain't no more today. Who was that that told me that? What's that sister name? Let me get her name. The one who bought all my furniture. What's her name?
Oh. I can't think of it.
Was married to the brother you said that left her. Whoa.
I know so many.
What's her name? Yolanda? Not Yolanda. What's her name? The little short one.
That is her name. That is her name. That's it.
Yolanda?
Yvonne.
Yolanda.
That's it.
Yvonne. Okay, I knew it started with a Y. Okay. Yeah,
Yvonne. That's
it. She told me one day, bro. No, today ain't one of my days to be in the more. I'm about to go over here and see about this shopping or whatever she was doing. I was looking at her like, really? Oh, okay. That's how some people operate. It's like once I got it, I was all in. This is the lifestyle. This is who my ancestors were. This is who my family were. And I got into my immediate family history and knowing who we were down here in the South, Ramsey, North Carolina, and just knowing the history. How can you say you're going to turn that on and off when the weekend comes?
You can't. I don't know how that sister did. But that sister, I know for a fact, she started off on the right path, but she saw green, and that's where her eyes went.
Yeah. Like Amir.
That's where her eyes went.
Here. The one that was did all our reclamations.
Yeah, he went green. He was green, too.
Mm-hmm.
But I know when they green, I sensed that when we first started meeting him. After me and him had a long conversation, I knew then. I was like, yeah, you green. I said, you got the knowledge, but you green.
But what tripped me out was when I seen him and Ishmael exchange some money. I was looking like, oh, that's why you so adamant about bringing all us down here. He's paying you off each one of us. I was like, oh, okay.
He ain't never paid me nothing. All them folks I bought down there, ain't get no kickback.
That's because you wasn't part of the Green Club.
I guess I wasn't. I was down there for a mission. Yeah, he did. I was down there. I thought I was doing my Harriet Tubman. That's what I thought I was doing.
Right.
I'm going to get y'all some freedom. That's what I thought I was doing. People was laughing at me. They was like, man, you going down there 2 or 3 times a month. I was like, yeah, man, I got to get this ride running, get them down there.
Oh, man. Yeah.
There was a lot of people I had to apologize to after that one.
Uh-oh.
I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm sorry. I ain't know. I'm sorry.
Amir was something else for him.
Yeah, he was.
But any advice that you could give to the new Moors coming in that's struggling to find truth and a right path to take in this journey and dealing with the courts and dealing with their lives and just the whole situation, what would you recommend they do?
Well, from my experiences and how I deal with it and how I handle things, being a little older and wiser, from what I saw from my young stages, I had a lot of fire in me, and I had a lot of anger. Yeah. You got to let the anger go, especially letting the anger go when it comes to your own, because we don't know it all, and that's what I tell my brothers. You can't get mad because somebody don't know something, and you can't get mad because you don't know something. Be patient, study hard. I ain't going to tell nobody to be humble, but be very respectful to the ones that came before you and listen. And you're going to find your way. When you follow your heart and you listen, that divine law is going to lead you the right way. That divine energy and love is going to lead you the right way. But you can't do it with no anger, and you can't do it with no malice and looking for profit and looking for the green. It's more than that. It's more to this than that. And one thing that people got to understand about is learning how to forgive. Because there's a lot of us that broke folks' hearts out here, and a lot of us got to forgive so we can move forward. A lot of these young guys, they done insulted each other. I've been on Facebook, and and YouTube, listen to a lot of guys challenging each other. I saw guys, young guys, that was at one point, they was tighter than a knot, and now they separate. They got to come back together, and they got to let it go. Come back together and let it go, and be more forgiving and more loving to one another, and move forward. The only way we can progress is by being forgiving to one another and love one another, and have a more understanding of what we're trying to do. We're going to make some bad decisions, and we're going to do some wrong things at time to time, because we are damaged people. That's what a lot of people don't realize. We damaged as a group entirely as a people. We damaged. It's just like these people that's out here need counseling because they mentally affected. They going through some type of mental illness. What these white folks done did to us as a nation of people, that can give you a form of a mental illness. We all need some form of therapy, but we need each other to go through the therapy. That's my input on the system.
Much appreciated and well said. I agree 1,000%.